What do they have in common? Each of them are in a particular situation. Let's talk about sentence adverbs. Surprisingly, he got a lot of money on his birthday. Sadly, she broke up with her boyfriend. Unfortunately, she broke her leg. Amazingly, a UFO flew over the sky. Suddenly, the dead girl woke up. So, what are sentence adverbs? Let me tell you. Sentence adverbs refer to a whole statement. Curiously, he never visited America. Equals, it is curious that he never visited America. Sentence adverbs act as a comment, showing the attitude or opinion of the writer or the speaker. For example, sadly, the forests are now under threat. It means that it's sad that the forests are now under threat. Common sentence adverbs include actually, apparently, basically, briefly, certainly, clearly, conceivably, confidentially, curiously, evidently, fortunately, hopefully, however, ideally, incidentally, indeed, interestingly, ironically, naturally, predictably, presumably, regrettably, seriously, strangely, surprisingly. Unfortunately, the lesson is over. Hopefully, all of you understand what a sentence adverb is. Goodbye. Hello students, welcome again. This is Mr. Locio. Now we are going to start on Unit 2, okay? Personal stories. And we are going to talk about sentence adverbs and past continuous versus simple past, okay? Let's start. There we are. It says, what were you doing? Vocabulary sentence adverbs, okay? So as we seen in the previous video, we know what a sentence adverb is. And now you have to, match the pictures and the sentences and then listen and check your answers, okay? So what is number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now let's listen and complete, all right?
Unit 2, Personal Stories, Lesson A. What were you doing? Page 14, Exercise 1, Vocabulary, Sentence Adverbs. 1.
Sadly, my cat disappeared last year.
2.
Amazingly, she came home last night.
3.
Strangely, she had on a little sweater.
4.
Fortunately, she was very healthy.
5.
Unfortunately, I lost my wallet yesterday.
6.
Suddenly, I realized I didn't have it.
7.
Luckily, someone found it.
8.
Surprisingly, she brought it to my home.
All right, so you listen and I suppose that you have complete each of them very carefully, right? You want to check out your answers? All right, here you are. That is number 2, 4, 1, 3, 7, 6, 8, and 5, right? Amazingly, fortunately, sadly, strangely, etc. All right, now let's continue. What do we have here? It says use sentence adverbs to describe incidents that happen to you or people you know and tell your partner. Okay, if you have seen the video, you can understand this part. For example, amazingly, comma, my brother passed his physics exam last week. He didn't study at all. Remember that when we use a sentence adverb, we are expressing an opinion, all right? And then we have a language in context. Lights out. Lights out, no lights. Okay, listen to two people describe what they were doing when the power went out last night. What did they do after the power went out? All right, now let's listen.
Page 14, Exercise 2, Language in Context. Lights out.
I was cooking pasta when suddenly everything went dark. Luckily, I had some candles. I couldn't finish making my meal, so I just ate cereal for dinner. Angela.
While my friends and I were watching a movie at home, the lights went out. Unfortunately, no one knew how the movie ended, so we took turns telling our own endings. Tetsu.
Okay, so here we have two short stories about this situation. All right, using sentence adverbs like likely, unfortunately, and also using this expression, okay? And it says, while my friends and I were watching a movie at home, the lights went out. So what is this? This is the topic that we are going to study now, right? The past continuous tense. So let's go to the next page, right? Here we have the grammar. And it says past continuous versus simple past. So what is the past continuous? Use the past continuous to describe an action in progress in the past. Okay? So let's listen.
Page 15, Exercise 3, Grammar, Past continuous versus simple past. Use the past continuous to describe an action in progress in the past.
Angela was cooking pasta last night. Tetsu and his friends were watching a movie.
Use the simple past for an event that interrupts that action in progress.
Angela was cooking pasta when everything went dark. While Tetsu and his friends were watching a movie, the lights went out.
Okay, so what is the past continuous? Is used to describe an action in progress in the past. Okay, an action in progress. So let me use this for a moment. Okay. Now, past continuous. Okay. So, what is the past continuous? Imagine this. Okay. This is a timeline, right? It's a timeline. Okay. In here we have the past, right? And here we have the present. And here in the middle between the past and the present, we have an action in progress. The past continues. Okay? So, whatever. Okay. So, for example, we can say I was watching TV, okay, at 6 p.m. right? So in the past continues. This is an action in progress in the past. Okay, suppose that in the past this is 5 p.m. and now it's 8 p.m. all right, 5 and 8. In the middle is the past continuous. I was watching TV at 6 p.m. all right, it was an action in progress, all right. So this action in the middle is what we call the past continuous. Okay, now let's go back here. So in the simple past, it says use the simple past for an event that interrupts that action in progress. So Angela was cooking pasta when everything went dark. Here we have the past continuous, and here we have the simple past. While Tetsu and his friends were watching a movie, the lights went out. Okay? Now, complete the conversation with the past continuous or simple past form of the verbs. All right, remember that we form the past continuous using was or were and the ing form of the principal verb. Okay, ing form of the principal verb. So, for example, what were you doing last night when the storm? We have a question here. This is in the past, right? Began. All right, now you have to solve this exercise. Yes? You want to check it out your answers? No problem. Check it out. There you have, right? I was using my computer while I was writing my report. The electricity suddenly went off. Did you lose your work? Yeah, unfortunately, I needed to do it again. How did you break your foot? Oh, I was skiing. Really? Did it hurt? Of course, but fortunately someone called an ambulance. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, and while I was waiting, my friends brought me hot chocolate. Okay, so this is for you to to help you to complete these sentences about the past simple and the past continuous. All right. What else? Here we have a pronunciation and some speaking part. Okay, so that is all for today. No more. It's not complicated. Now let's listen to the pronunciation.
Page 15. Exercise 4. Pronunciation. Intonation in complex sentences.
Angela was cooking pasta when everything went dark. When everything went dark, Angela was cooking pasta.
Okay, so we can say in this way or in this other way. Right, now here we have a story time speaking, and you have to complete the sentence with your own idea. Okay, for example, I was talking to my best friend when, I don't know, when my mother called me, for example. I was sleeping one night when, all right, when the dog barked, etc. Now here we have an example. I was talking to my best friend when my phone rang. Strangely, it was a phone number I didn't know. Luckily, I answered the phone because it was my mother, my father, etc. Okay, so this was all for today. Okay, and I'm going to see you next week on our first online lesson in real time. Remember to do your workbook. Okay, not this part, personal stories. What were you doing? Okay, so you had to put the letters in the correct order to make adverbs. For example, here we have unfortunately, and you have number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Yes, all of this and this part. Okay, what were you doing when the lights went out? Write sentences with the past continuous form of the verbs. For example, Mina was reading a book. Martin was or where was? Martin was washing the dishes, etc. On part number 3, it says complete the sentences with when and the words in parentheses and use the simple past form of the verb. Example, their friends arrived. Jane and Paul were making dinner on Friday when their friends arrived. So you have to put this verb into the past tense. Okay, what else? Let's go to the next part. Yeah, complete the conversation with the correct forms of the simple past or the past continuous. Okay, for example, what were you doing when the electricity went off? Unfortunately, etc., etc., etc. You have to complete this part. Number 5, you have to complete the story using these verbs in the past continuous or simple past. Terry and Wendy were cooking in the kitchen when the electricity suddenly, etc. And number 6, answer the question with your own information and write complete sentences. Example, what classes did you take last year? I took biology, history of China, and English last year. And you have to answer all of these questions. Alright, so this is for your homework. This is for your homework. And no, this part no. Only here until page number 11. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching the video and for paying attention to this interesting class. Bye bye.